Turn my mic on so everyone can hear. Gosh, that's 2 weeks in a row that I did that. It was a wonderful opening. I'm sorry you missed it. I did such a great job with it. But anyway, I digress and I see this is what happens. Ian warned me this would happen, but just the way things
Two,
go.
two females on the show this week, ladies and gentlemen. Normally when we have one female on the show, Rich goes to pieces.
Yeah.
This week it's going to be double trouble.
It will be. It's going to be good, though. It's going to be a lot of fun, as I said before. So put your seatbelts on. Trust me on this. You're going to have a good time with it, and I think you're going to enjoy this.
Rich,
Yeah,
Rich.
Ian.
Mate, I mean, I know that, you're a bit of an American prepper and everything, but why have you moved into the bunker?
Well, that's something I was going to tell everybody. This is not the bunker behind me. Behind me, what we have, I spent yesterday moving all of the equipment down into the crime lab. And a lot of people think that behind me is a shooting range. It's not. Behind me is really an acoustic range where we determine the best placement for artists within venues using different acoustic properties so that their instrument can be heard better.
You're so full of
Yeah.
good technical information, Rich.
Well, thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. I really do. So anyway, on the music program today, here's what we do, folks. We go around and we review and critique songs sent in by indie artists from around the world. And they do that by going to musicsceneinvestigation.com. This is a free thing we do. It doesn't cost anybody a dime, and we're happy to do it. So if you're a musician out there looking for constructive criticism about your music and people who really want to help out from the music industry, this is the place to come. Don't go to all those other places who are going to charge you money for it when you can come here and we'll do it gladly with a smile. Yeah, anyway. All right, on today's broadcast, 3 new songs go in front of our panel. Let's meet them right now. You heard him, you talked to him, you saw him a little bit earlier, Mr. Ian Husbands in London, England. Hey, Ian.
How you doing? All right.
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. Do you know what, Rich? I meant to talk to you about something before the show.
Okay.
We have a song on our rotation. You'll probably remember it. It's called Popular by Cincinnati Pop.
I do, yes. In fact, I mentioned, if I remember correctly, during that show, I thought that I had heard it on some commercial television at one point.
Well, you didn't.
I didn't.
I now know where you've heard it or where it is from.
Okay.
I went to see Wicked yesterday, the stage show about Elphaba the Witch, the Wicked Witch of the West. And that hook is actually one of the songs from Wicked called Popular. And we were sat there listening, and Tony's going, "That sounds really familiar." And I'm going, "Yeah, it does, doesn't it?" And Tony, my wife, again coming in with a gem, going, "That's on MSI."
Now, is it that it was originally from Wicked, or is it that Cincinnati Pop song appears in Wicked?
No, unfortunately not. I checked out the CD, which I bought my wife while we were at the show yesterday, and all the songs were written by the same bloke whose name I can't remember, but he wrote all the songs for the show, and
Maybe
that one included.
maybe he's one of the guys from Sonati Pop.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice to think, but I don't think that's the case. So we might have to look into this just to show that we are ever vigilant on our copyright and bits and pieces like that.
I definitely agree with you on that one, and we definitely will look into that, as we're going to look in right now to our statistics from the 4th of January. Ian is the keeper of all things statistics, so he's going to let us know about those witness statements from back then when Closed for Repairs, Meadow Rave, Miriam Crespo, and Hold On Tight, along with the Betsy Ross's Dreams, appeared on the show. Ian?
I think we done this last week, didn't we? But if we didn't, we'll do it again. It's fine. It was a weird week. It was a weird week. We only had a couple of voters, but it was a mixed bag on what they wanted. For best songwriting, song 1 took 50% of the votes, and song 2 took 50% of the votes. For best performance, again, song 1 took 50% of the votes, and song 2 took 50% of the votes. But for mix and production, song 3 took 50% of the votes, as did song 2. So kind of overall, song 2, Miriam Crispo, did win because they got voted in every section. But yeah, it was a bit of an undecided bag overall.
That's kind of bizarre. That whole voting number thing there is kind of really weird. It's like song 2 was right there on everything, but song 1 and song 3, weird.
Was snapping at its heels.
Yeah, very odd stuff. Well, I appreciate you bringing those stats to us, Ian. Thank you very much. We're going to go over to Las Vegas right now and meet Andrea Benzmiller back on the panel. Hey, Andrea, how are you?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing great. How the heck are you?
I'm good. I like your background, Rich, and now I feel left out. I'm going to have to find a snazzy background.
You know, I searched and searched everywhere for backgrounds. You know, everybody knows I'm not really in a gun lab because there is no echo or anything like that, or the acoustic lab under the MSI labs, because no echo exists. And there's that big metal sink over here, right? And there should be an echo, yeah? But there's not.
But at first I thought maybe you were in a kitchen. And then I look closer and, the target gives it away. So, but it's cool. I like it.
I should have put an acoustic guitar on the guy back there, but I'm lazy.
Now, I hope you've got a few more backgrounds to show us, Rich, because you told me there's going to be some surprises today, not just one.
There are surprises today, Ian, and Andrea is going to grace us with the first surprise. So go ahead, Ian. Yeah, go right ahead.
That's a surprise to me too.
See, there you have it. So how is everything out in Las Vegas, Andrea? I know that we always make fun of the weather in Vegas, saying that it's always hot in Vegas, but that's not necessarily so. A couple of weeks ago, you had a bit of wintry weather. Are you guys still in the ice box, or are things finally warming up?
No, it's warm again. It's it was a little cold just for a couple weeks, and now it's kind of back to being pretty mellow. Some guy just walked by my house. He's in shorts again. So, so yeah, it's warm. It's really actually beautiful right now. It does get a little cold at night, but overall, we don't really complain around here much about weather.
Well, you're in the desert. It's supposed to get cold at night and it's supposed to get hot during the day, I guess. I mean, that's what Vegas is all about anyway, isn't it?
As long as it's not 115, we're good.
But it's a dry heat.
It is a dry heat. It's a dry cold too. So, in some ways it's worse, but
yeah, dry colds are never fun.
Yeah, it's a dry, windy. We get a lot of wind here. This state really should just be a giant wind turbine. It could probably power the whole country. So it's really, when it's cold and windy, it's kind of chilly.
Well, I tell you, I'm glad that you're braving the weather, be it warm, cold, hot, or otherwise, to be on the panel today. I know you moved your schedule around to make it, and we're glad you did.
Well, yeah, I was happy that that worked out because I love being with you guys. It's fun. So
Well, we love having you with us as well, and I would say that to Ian, but he'd take it wrong. No,
he's not
no,
saying anything.
nobody
Nothing
says a
over there.
word. Nobody
Crickets.
says
Crickets
exactly.
over on Ian's side. I kept waiting for him to say something snappy. You know how he is. He has those quick British comebacks. So
Yeah.
That the silence was quick enough.
Yeah. Let's meet our guest panelist. And our guest panelist was our artist of the year. We're having a little back and forth. Ian and I were before the show. Is she artist of the year for 2014 or artist of the year 2015? I say artist of the year for 2015. Ian says otherwise. You care to explain this, Ian, before I introduce her?
Right, it's Artist of the Year for 2014 because that is when the music was featured in the year of 2014, and she is the best artist of that music of 2014.
But
Not 2015, that's this year. So basically, the artist 2015 will be next year in 2016.
All right, and my case for this is she wasn't voted best artist of the year until 2015, so she couldn't be best artist of 2014 because she wasn't voted best artist until 2015. Anyway,
when was her music on the show?
Her music was on the show in 2014. You're right.
I rest my case.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep trying that one. But here she is. Anyway, our Artist of the Year 2015, Miss Brittany Bexton. Brittany,
14.
How are you? Welcome. Congratulations.
You know, Ian, I'm going to weigh the scales towards Rich with this one because it's like presidential campaigning, right? I campaigned in 2014, but I'm reigning in 2015.
Perfect. I totally agree with that.
We don't do that presidential thing over here.
Well, it's just more fun to say that, 2015, because 2014 is already over.
And
I've got to enjoy this for a little while.
Yeah, but it was a good year.
Ian is holding the award up that is going to be coming your way very shortly. I can see that. Hopefully you can see it on your screen as well.
Between pixels. So that works.
let's just give her the whole 2 years. I mean, come on. When a girl wins, we should just, we should make it last because,
Hang about. It's the Artist of the Year, not Artist of the 2 years. I mean, come on.
All right. Enough arguing about it. Even though Brittany did win convincingly with 60% of the vote, which is excellent, great stuff. She's Artist of the Year 2015, and that's the way I'm going to keep it on everything I write, including all those checks I've written. It says 2015 now instead of 2014. So there you go. Even though the money, Ian, was earned in 2014, these checks say 2015.
Hang on, what money?
Never mind.
Why was I expecting that answer?
No. All right, Brittany, it's great to have you with us. So, let me get into it. I want to know a little bit about you. We haven't really had the chance to get to know each other and to introduce you to our audience and have them get to know you either. So tell us a little bit about you and how you got started in music.
Oh, goodness. Well, how I got started, I was just sort of born.
That helps.
She fits in perfect here.
No, really, I've been singing my entire life. It was just sort of part of me. I don't think it was something that I discovered at any point. It's just sort of part of who I am. So that's how I got into it. As far as doing music over the years, I mean, gosh, I sang in church choirs when I was a kid just so I'd have an opportunity to sing, and played multiple instruments when I was younger, and then did band in middle school and such. And when I was in high school, I started singing in pretty much every choir that there was, doing musical theater, and I started taking voice lessons when I was 12 privately. And then I ended up actually going to a conservatory for musical theater for college, and I did professional theater for years. So yes, Popular is from Wicked. It's been around for quite a few years now. It's a great song. But I did a lot of professional theater, and then just realized that I missed doing my own music. And wanted to be able to focus on having a band that did my original material and having the time to actually focus on that. So I quit theater and started playing with different country bands in the Bay Area in California, and then moved to Nashville 3 years ago.
So
we've got a question. We've got a question in the chat room for you, Brittany,
Okay.
from Boxer Crap, and he asks, "Were you born into a musical family?"
No, actually, I was not. I mean, it's kind of funny because I think most musicians are, and you'd think that just being musical my whole life I would have been, but I am actually the only musician in my family.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
So,
I mean, my parents love music, and we always listened to music growing up, but no one else in my family is a performer. And I have a cousin who is an actor and another cousin who also did theater, but I'm the only musician.
well, that's good. At least you have the corner on all the family reunion entertainment lined up then. So that's always good. Now, let me ask you a question about Nashville because you said you moved to Nashville 3 years ago to pursue your music career. I guess it's either L.A. or Nashville. Why Nashville over L.A.?
Well, a few reasons, really. I sing country music and write country music mostly, and that's kind of what I'm most drawn to as far as the popular genres. I grew up listening to a lot of different stuff, and like I love alternative rock of the 90s and singer-songwriter stuff, but just as a genre as a whole, at least around the time that I moved out here, country was really where my heart was. And I am not a city girl, and LA is kind of the most claustrophobic city ever to me. I feel like you can't escape it when you're there. You're just surrounded by city and people everywhere. So it made sense for me to come somewhere where it was more country focused. And even though I live in Nashville in the city, it feels a little more like a small town depending on where you are. And it's not as claustrophobic. There's open space around us.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I'm out in the middle of a cornfield right now. Of course, the hardened bunker, but still in the middle of a cornfield. Now, the indie scene in Nashville. Uh, I haven't had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people about it, but I know that it's huge in Nashville. What's been your experience with it down there?
Well, it's huge in the sense that there are a lot of people that came here to make things happen, and most of them are not signed. But in some ways, I don't think that indie music and the country genre is as big of a thing as indie and other genres. It's like people have just realized that as a country artist, they can be indie. So it's kind of a growing thing. Um, but there's music everywhere here. I mean, you can hear music any time of the day, pretty much anywhere in town.
That's very true. Even out on the street corners, as you're walking down the street, there are musicians on virtually every corner in front of a lot of businesses as well. And it's a great scene down there. Now, your music, "Free Fall," is the
Mm.
song you submitted to MSI, the song that we heard, and what got you voted in as Artist of the Year. How did that song come about, and did you expect the kind of return from at least the panel on MSI? Because you submitted to MSI for a reason, I presume. So, how was your thoughts on how it went with the panel?
I thought it was good. I mean, I submitted to a bunch of review sites because that was the first song that I recorded that I was really excited about as far as the production and everything because I recorded an EP when I first moved out here. And it's not that I don't like that EP, I just wasn't as much a part of the production process on that one. Whereas with this one, I was really involved in each little piece and creatively involved in the production process also. And it's totally me. And when we wrote that song, I actually wrote that song with my old guitar player and another guy in town that he was scheduled to have a co-write with because we were supposed to be rehearsing and we got the song idea and quit rehearsing to write instead. But we knew the first night we wrote it that in some ways it was probably going to be a breakout song for me. We're like, this is a hit. We like this song. This one's going to do stuff. So I actually recorded that as a single over a year ago and started submitting it for review and such. I just wanted to get word out about it basically as much as possible, and ended up following up this last year. In July, I recorded the rest of the EP to go with the single, but the whole EP is actually titled Free Fall after the single.
Yeah, now I was going to ask you about that. You had mentioned that you were working on an EP, and even if I can let the cat out of the bag, even a video for the track as well. So tell us a little bit about that whole experience, and when everybody can get a hold of the EP. Has that been released yet, or when is it coming out, and when can we see the video as well?
The EP is already released. This is actually a copy of it. I realized I had the box sitting next to me, so I might as well pull it out. So this is the front cover, and then you can't read the songs on the back, I'm sure, because my screen is probably about that big, but this is the EP. It's got 5 songs on it. Free Fall is the title track, which I guess most people on here probably heard. And then I have Miss Me, Beggin' Time, Just Crazy Enough, and You Move Me are the other tracks on here. And it's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on Google Play. Pretty much any media-based online outlet it's available on, but it's also available as a hard copy directly from my website, which is brittnybexton.com.
All right. Now, about
as a designer, I'd like to step in here. Looks like a really nice cover, but surely as a country artist, shouldn't you be lent against the horse?
Well, in Free Fall, I take off in a speeding car, so
I just don't associate country and Mercedes.
Oh, this isn't a Mercedes. This is a Vet.
It's a Corvette. I still don't associate Corvettes. Mustang, maybe.
Well, what about Dukes of Hazzard? I mean, come on. They always drove around hot cars. Granted, that was a Mustang, but Corvettes are totally... Rednecks love Corvettes.
Oh, now you're just playing on my childhood. Daisy Duke. Sorry.
She does have a point. Muscle cars are really big in the South.
Yes. Hey, I mean, it is like the home of NASCAR after all, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Look, you're talking to an Englishman who gets sold America as a stereotype here. That's what I'm going to say.
All right.
I mean, I like horseback riding too. I just don't have any songs about horseback riding on the CD, so it didn't really seem.
All right. So my next question is, Brittany, where can or when can we see the video? Is that coming out fairly soon as well? And is there any new music in the works that we can expect fairly soon?
Well, the video, I am not sure when it's coming out. I can't give you an exact date. I can tell you it is almost done because I've been getting emails about titles and things for the last week, which means they're in the final editing process. Ideally, I'd like to market it a little bit before it actually officially releases. So I'm hoping maybe within the next 2 months it will be out, but the best way to know is to follow me either on Facebook or Twitter or both and check out my website for updates.
All right. Now, website again is BrittanyBexton.com. We certainly hope everybody checks that out. And I'm actually looking forward to the video because the song, as everyone out there already knows, is a great song, and you really have a knack for this music stuff, in my opinion. And I want to congratulate you on being Artist of the Year 2015.
Thank you.
Now, we do have some music to listen to today, so I'd like to do that if we can as well. So before we go too much further, I'd like to get everybody to take a listen to the first song on today's Music Scene Investigation. So here it is, everybody. Enjoy song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. That is song number 1 on today's broadcast, everyone. Let's go over to Ian, find out what he thinks as soon as he gets done laughing at everything going on in the chat room. Ian, what do you think of song number 1?
I think that everyone's having a go at you in the chat, and I like it.
And on Twitter, too.
And on Twitter, yep. It's all good fun. I just made my show already, so it's fine. Yeah, okay. This had a Christmassy feel about it for me. I don't know what it was, but it just sort of brought back the Christmas rock tunes. It sort of had that sort of feel to it, the piano playing and the sort of nice sort of high arpeggios and stuff. It was nice. There is really taking this for what it is. There's some mix issues. I think there is the nice start of a nice composition. There's some nice stops. There was some nice sort of parts and sections to it. I like the guitar work. It was a bit sloppy in places, but really, you know, if you want to take what you've got here and use it, then you can do a lot of work on it, and you can get a lot of things done with it in the mix. I mean, the effects in those guitars were a bit too much. The phase or the chorus or whatever it was, and sort of where the sort of the harmonies were playing. With all that phasing and chorus going on, they was kind of clashing and fighting against each other. Maybe a little bit of separation, even just knocking one off to the left, one off to the right, and bringing those effects down a bit, cleaning them up a bit more so we can hear what's been playing instead of hiding behind that sort of ball of sound, I think would be preferable from my point of view. The drums were hardly there. You could hear them, but they weren't very prominent. And I know, obviously, you're doing an instrumental track where you want those guitars to be the focus, but I still want to hear those rhythms coming through. You know, some more compression on them. They sounded a bit flat and dull from what I could hear. The piano sounded lovely. I did feel it was a little bit dominant in places and pushed off to the left there as well. It was a little bit too obvious. Again, that focus should be on those guitars, and that I felt that guitar could sort of come back a bit more to the centre and be pulled down a touch. Bass was kind of nondescript. Can't really think what the bass was doing at all, so I didn't really pay much attention to that, which probably means it was all right. But yeah, you've got a good demo here. I would, again, you know, I'm a vocalist and a songwriter, so I personally would like to hear some vocals on this. I think you've got a really good sort of backing track for a singer now to write some good strong lyrics to, and put a nice sort of classic-y rock darkness style vocal down on it.
All right, Ian, I appreciate that. Thank you. Over to Andrea Bensmiller. Andrea, how about you and song number 1? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to echo a lot of what Ian just said. You know, when it started, I always I'm really intent on the intro, and I try to get a feel about where it's going. And I didn't expect this to be just a guitar dominated track. So when it came in, it was like, oh, okay. It's, you know, like I think Ian said, for what it is, it sounds more like a demo, maybe of somebody's playing ability than a completed record track or something that you're going to submit for film or television. It just has a kind of one-dimensional feel to me. The mix, exactly what Ian said. The drums very non-distinct. I thought the guitar tones were a little brittle. The bass was there, but you couldn't really hear much going on in it. So to me, it kind of depends on what you want to do with this. Is it just a demo? Is it kind of to show people that you can play? Is it something that you want to get further with? And if you want to get further with, then there needs to be some work on some song structure, something that's a little less redundant throughout the track, and definitely a work on the mix, and in terms of making it a little more balanced and having those instruments kind of warm up and draw you into really, really listening to the playing. It wasn't bad. I'm not exactly sure what the point is. Again, like Ian, I'm a vocalist, I'm a songwriter, but I like instrumental music. That usually, for me to really enjoy it, it has to encompass a little more than this track did.
All right, Andrea, thank you very much for your thoughts. Now over to our Artist of the Year 2015.
14.
15. Miss
2
Brittany
years.
Bexton. Yeah. Miss
Um,
Brittany Bexton. Brittany, how about you in song number 1? What do you think of that?
I agree with them. I really, when it first started, it kind of sounded like it was going to be a guitar vocal demo to me. That's kind of how it started out. Like we hear a lot of demos for songwriting pitching in Nashville, and it felt like it was going to be actually an acoustic thing that way. It would have been a great quality guitar vocal demo to start. The beginning, it didn't flow as much as it could have. It was almost like there were stops, but they weren't actually stops. It was a little bit choppy. And then that kind of filled in as some of the other instrumentals came in. Like it sort of kind of came into its own when the string section arrived. But I would agree with them. The drums aren't quite prominent enough. And actually, if there was a stronger drum track, it'd be a little bit easier to line it up because there were some parts where rhythmically it just wasn't quite lining up. So when a lot of the guitar parts were layering, instead of it being this really tight thing with all of these crazy cool layers, they weren't quite tight enough because the tracks weren't lining up quite right rhythmically. And having a stronger drum and bass track would have kind of helped that line up a little bit. I'm also a vocalist, so I kept thinking, are there going to be lyrics? Is there a vocal part coming in? Of course, things can just be instrumental, so that's not that big of a deal. If it is going to remain an instrumental track, there's sort of this part where it comes to almost a climax and you do your first stops, which are really cool. I would highlight those stops even more, make kind of a bigger deal out of them and change the dynamic so there's a little more of a dynamic shift.
All right, very cool. Very cool. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And let me introduce that artist to everybody. The name of the track and the artist name is Chris Wira, and the name of the track is called Let It Rain. We appreciate their sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. 2 more songs we have to listen to, and we're going to get to the second one right now. So here is song number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation, everyone. Hope you enjoy it. It's song number 2.
今夜何しようなんかしたい楽しもうよ世界中みんなハッピー Let's party! I see friends and I see friends I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I see friends and I see friends I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance My hair is laid like my style is a winner Deep condition in these flows Personality A Taxi cup fitting in a deep dress Color rose emphatically they grab for me Casually trying to guess my nationality Formalities occur Chloe Narcisse and Pink Sugar Word How do you say I'm so Givenchy OMG we what's that How do we play It's no better than everything better believe Shall we built for this Does the body good we meant for this All around the world with an emphasis On fun lights camera action because I see London I see friends I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I see London I see friends I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance Blast off, take fly Pan Am, usually can't do the dance to the AM Both hands way high Venetian Palazzo, oh, why you playing? Got good taste and money Yo, chip sour cream Basic honey, old dip, oh so stunning Play girl power team Energizer bunnies And how do you say? I'm so Givenchy, OMG, we what's that? How do we play? It's no better than everything better believe Shall we built for this? Does the body good we meant for this All around the world with an emphasis On fun, lights, camera, action because I see London, I see friends I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I see London, I see friends I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance I spill champagne while I dance Champagne
That is song number 2 on the broadcast today, and we're going to find out what our panel thinks of that right now, starting out with Andrea. Andrea, song number 2, over to you.
Oh, this track was a lot of fun, actually, I thought. Really, really clever hook idea. Very quirky when it starts. Kind of like, that's the first thing that grabs your attention is this, whatever it was in the beginning, this intro that's kind of like an Asian pop girl. And really interesting, kind of immediately makes you go, huh? And kind of listen right away. So I really like that. Overall, I think it's a great dance track. Has a really pumping dance beat, nice groove. When you program drums, you want them to sound like this. You want them to sound like they have life, and there are some different patterns working with the track to make it really come alive. I think that was well done. The mix in general, really balanced. Vocals placed in the right place, backing vocals, especially the ones that punctuated little things here and there as part of the rap, were really, really nicely balanced. I thought the rap was really well done too. It's really kind of a different sound for rap. It's like this pop rap, which is, I think, only now starting to kind of come into to hearing it more often. But it was a really great track. There was only one thing I didn't like, and that was the bass tones. I thought that this one bass tone that kept coming back on the downbeat. There was a lot of other things going on that downbeat, and because of that, it kind of turned into mush. So what little bass you got out of it, that was really kind of an indistinct tone down there at the bottom. But I loved it. It had my head bobbing. It was clever. It was cute. It was interesting. I would completely hear it being played somewhere in a club, where dancing is the primary point of being there. So, good track.
All right. Tommy out in the chat room makes a play on, you got K-pop in Korea. Now we have double H pop, hip-hop pop here in the States, I guess. I don't know. So Andrea's got that one booked. You ought to go ahead and trademark that, Andrea, before anybody else does. Brittany, song number 2, what do you think of it?
I also thought this was really fun. I mean, as soon as it started, I kind of got a grin and couldn't help but smile and kind of move along with it. It's a really fun dance track. And overall, I agree. The mix was great. It was pretty well balanced. The second vocal rap breakdown, I could hear a little bit better than the first one. And I'm not sure if that's just because my ears have adjusted a little bit better at that point, or if maybe that vocal was a little better mixed as far as just being a little more out front. But overall, I mean, the mix is pretty great. The one thing that was kind of missing was a little bit more of the lower tones, some of the low-end tones. They brought it in a little bit on, during the chorus, there were some repeat sounds. And of course there was that one low male voice. And then there was one kind of in the mid lows that came in. That was really nice, because that was sort of the first time I'd sort of heard those mid low tones in the track. But overall, it was really fun, really great. Definitely a fun dance song and a great club song.
All right, cool. Club songs, hip hop pop. Anything interesting and cool to spark off a new genre there, Ian?
I just can't get past the fact that Pinky in the chat room said he was twerking to it. It's kind of made me feel a little bit giddy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit dirty on my end. I don't know.
Dirty. Yeah. Okay, not my bag. Not the sort of thing I would go out and listen to generally. But, I mean, production-wise, very slick. Very, very clean mix. Vocal hook was interesting. Again, I'm not going to say I liked it, because I didn't. But it worked from this point of view of the track. Some of the rapping was tight. I thought the sub, and we're talking about the bass. People are talking about the bass quite a bit. I liked the sub on the bass. It really sat nicely and was tight as anything. But, again, I felt the bass was lacking in parts, really, rather than, as Andrea said, just those sort of downstrokes. sort of with that real low end bass, which worked for part of it. But I wanted to hear more movement. I wanted to hear a bit more soul in the bass, if that makes sense. Hear it moving around a little bit more and doing something a bit more interesting. But otherwise, this is a slick track and it's very, very well done. Not a lot else to say.
All right. Well, short and sweet, straight to the point, I guess. It's about the way it is. Let me introduce the track to everybody. The name of track number 2 on the broadcast today. The name of the track, it's called Champagne, and it's by Marcella Precise. Marcella Precise with Champagne. Thanks for sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. We have one more track on today's broadcast. We're going to get to that right now. This is track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it, everyone. We'll be back with the reviews in just a moment.
Everything you've seen and heard. win. Your time is wearing thin. You look out to the horizon. You cast a shadow on truth. You have a panoramic view, but you choose not to see when what you want to see is gone. Oh, the colors getting dim. You sing 'cause you can't swim. Time is wearing thin. Look out to the horizon. You cast a shadow on the truth. You have a panoramic view, but you choose not to see when what you want to see is gone.
That is song number 3 on the broadcast today. We're going to start out this round of thoughts with Brittany, our 2015 Artist of the Year. Brittany, what do you think about track number 3?
Well, overall, I would say the feel of the song has a really cool, like, kind of alternative rock vibe to it. And I like the idea behind the song, the feel, and the lyrics that I could hear, I liked. Overall, the vocals were completely lost in the mix to me. I could barely hear them at all. And the piano, or sorry, the keys really, were way too hot. They were up front, and I could hear them better than the vocal and any of the guitar. The breakdown right before the vocal came back in, the kind of solo break in the middle, got a little mushy. I feel like the processing that you used on the guitars, or that they used on the guitars, were, I don't know if it was too much verb exactly, but it was almost just too much. You kind of lost the actual notes in the mix. It just sort of started sounding like mush the way everything fit together. And it's too bad because it could have been really cool. It was just, the mix was off somehow. And some of it really was just the processing of it and not the actual notes or levels. It was just the processing on it. As far as the vocals, what I could hear in the mix, I like the flatback effect that was used on the vocals. That was really cool. It worked with the vibe. They just needed to be brought forward a little bit. And I like the kind of sultry guitar solo toward the end there. Just overall, it could be a really great song. It just needs to be cleaned up a lot as far as the mix and everything goes.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Brittany. Thank you very much. Now over to Ian and his thoughts. Ian, track number 3 for you, sir.
Do you know what? Brittany's really hit the nail on the head here. The song is really, really good. There's really good songs in there. And I was sort of thinking, okay, the guitar's a little bit sloppy, but when the band come in, maybe that's all going to clean up. And that was just part of the intro. And then the band came in, and it didn't kind of work, unfortunately. You've got a really strong song here. There was some really great lyrics in there about panoramic views and stuff like that, which were really sort of catching my attention when I could hear them. The vocals were buried. They were pushed right back. That guitar tone needs cleaning up. There needs to be more panning going on that with that as well. Push those guitars off of those vocals and let those vocals come through. Again, I liked the reverbs and the delays being used on there, but I think they need to leave those delays and reverbs on the intro and on the breakdown, where it sort of comes down to the vocal and the guitars. And when the band kicks in, have a cleaner vocal cutting through, without all that delay, to sort of, one, give the song a difference, a dynamic difference, but two, to allow that vocal to work over that much instrumentation and bits and pieces. The bass sounded okay, wasn't, again, grabbing my attention and saying, look at me, I'm a fantastic bass player. But then again, the poor guy was struggling with the drummer that he had to work with. And it really, for me, the drums were the biggest letdown on this track. I like the clavy electric piano sound as well. There's a lot of nice stuff being played on that. But it just felt like the drummer was playing a different song in places. especially on some of the verses, the earlier verses. He kind of got better as the song went along, and it went to the sort of mid-late section. He was there, he was on the groove, and it was working. But in other places, it just sounded like, it was like, I'm playing this song. Oh, look, there's a B. And then you come back to the song and go, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I was doing something, wasn't I? Yeah, he was all over the place, timing-wise, and from the point of view of parts he was playing. Drum sound was very loose, very unproduced. That kick drum was muddy and boxy. The snare was kind of there, but it needed more cut through, and it needed to snap a little bit more. And the things like the cymbals weren't sitting right for me. It was just all a little bit wrong and all a little bit open. We've got some very great tools available to us all these days from the point of view of compression, reverbs, and bits and pieces like that. And learn to use them. They're the best thing that can tidy a mix up and clean a mix up. And, again, even they sound like live drums on this track, almost certainly live drums. Even from that point of view, you've got facilities to quantize this stuff now and start getting it right, copying and pasting. Don't be afraid to use the tools you've got. If you can't go in and do another take, then edit it so it works.
All right, Ian, I appreciate your thoughts there as well. Now over to Andrea and her thoughts on track number 3. Andrea?
A lot of the same stuff. Again, it's a great tune. It's a great song. It's the melody is good. The lyrical ideas are good. The hook is there. And I'm not even so sure that the band couldn't be good. What's really happened here is it's just a little thrown together. The things about the mix that can be changed usually pretty easily by a good engineer or a good producer, but the stuff that's really not holding up the song is the playing. The playing is sloppy. The drums they didn't find their groove ever. It's almost like this drummer is a new drummer or struggles with time or just has not really found the point where, with a band, he or she is the backbone yet. And because of that, it felt like the rest of the band struggles too. The guitars were messy in places. I do like the electric piano sound, but it was so up front and so dominating of the track. Sometimes it was all you heard, and it's a little random. It's kind of like everybody got in a room and said, we got this great song, let's all start playing, and we'll all just play the whole time. And we won't pick any set parts. We'll just keep playing whatever comes out. And I'm personally not a fan of that method of production, just because I think I've been converted to the album production type of thought, which is basically, look at every piece of the tune. What do you want to do with it? Some specific parts, some really solid musical ideas, some trading off between instruments, and most importantly, what everybody else said, supporting the vocal and getting that vocal into a part in the mix where you can really hear it and understand the lyrics and get attached to the song. So, it is really good. I did not enjoy this track as messy as it was, and I really thought that the drum playing got worse as the song went on. As we got towards the end, it just kept getting messier and messier. So, and even that didn't totally kill it for me. I just wanted it to be better played and better produced.
All right. Well, I appreciate your thoughts there, Andrea. Thank you very much. The name of track number 3, let me bring it up for everybody here. It's called Panoramic. It's by a group called Spirit of the Bear, and we appreciate their sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. Now, everybody in our panel has to decide on a song of the week, but before they do that, I want to remind everybody that our Song of the Week goes into our hit list contest, which happens on the second Wednesday of the month. And that hit list contest is brought to you by the folks over at Landar.com. It's mastering made easy on the internet. It's got a drag and drop interface. It's very cool, very easy to use. Go to landar.com or click on the banner below our live page, and you can sign up for a free account and get all the compressed MP3s you want for a full year, plus 2, count them, 2 uncompressed wave masters of your music. Try it out. See if it works for you. Our hit list winner will receive a 1-year pro account from landar.com, which entitles them to not only all the free compressed MP3 masters they want of their music, but also all the free uncompressed wave files they'd like as well. It's landar.com. It's mastering made easy. You need to check it out. See if it'll work for you. All right, everybody, I'm going to turn it over to the panel right now and let them decide on a song of the week. So without further ado, discuss it amongst yourselves and let us know what you think.
Ladies first.
Let's let our guests go first.
Well, I'm going to go with track 2, Champagne by, is her name Marcella Precise? Is that what you said?
That is correct, Marcella Precise.
Yeah. I'd say overall, that one was just a solid track. The production was there. It was fun. The vocals were there. The concept, it was just overall, for the track that it was right on, and the others weren't quite there as far as production.
All right. Andrea, Ian, what do you think?
Andrea?
I'm going with the same one for the same reasons. Using my usual formula, which is what's closest to being right on track and ready to go and ready to get out there. So I think number 2 really fits that bill.
And Ian?
I personally would say Song of the Week is number 3. I think that is the best song, but unfortunately, due to the sloppiness of the performances and the production and the mix, it's not something I can sort of push and go, yeah, that's, I endorse that from that point of view. It's got to be number 2. The full package is there. It should be getting radio play. I won't be listening to it, and I don't mean that offensively. It's not my bag, but it should be getting radio play.
All right. Well, unanimous decision. It is song number 2, Champagne by Marcella Precise, as our song of the week. Brittany, thank you so much for being here with us on today's broadcast. And again, congratulations on Artist of the Year win.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know we talked before the show. January is the busy month when you're doing all the paperwork and all that good stuff. So
and you've got a book coming out as well. Do you want to just drop a quick...
I do. Yeah. For anyone in country music or that wants to help someone in country music, I'm about to release a book all about music booking for country. It's called The Venue Book, Keys to Conquering Country Music Booking, and it's 3,500 venues. It's mainly like a Rolodex of venues and talent buyers, but it's also articles on negotiation and email templates and examples of booking agreements and questions to ask when you call to advance the show, all of that good stuff.
All right. Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing that, and hopefully that'll be out very soon, and we'll all be able to pick up a copy of it and read it. Go to BrittanyBexton.com to find out more about Brittany, her music, and everything else, including the book as well. And yeah, thanks, Andrea. I really appreciate the comment in chat. I would be totally speechless. Wouldn't be able to talk at all.
Well, they want to know. Somebody asked when they're going to see an all-women panel. And, of course, we know Rich would never be able to handle that.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. All right, thanks for being here, everybody. We're going to play out with Marcella Precise and Champagne here on today's Music Scene Investigation. Thanks for being here. We'll see you again next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat place. Hopefully I'll be in a different part of the lab. You never know. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
今夜何しようなんかしたい楽しもうよ世界中みんなハッピーレッツパーティー I see friends and I see friends
Personality A, fancy cup fitting in a deep dress. Color rose, emphatically they glad for me. Casually, trying to guess my nationality. Formalities occur. Chloe Narcisse and Pink Sugar. Word. How do you say? I'm so Givenchy, OMG, we what's up? How do we play? It's no better than everything, better believe. Child, we built for this. Does somebody good? We built for this. All around the world with an emphasis on fun, lights, camera, action. Because Blast off, take flight. Pan Am, usually can't do the dance to the AM. Both hands way high. Venetian Palazzo, oh, why you playing? Got good taste and money. Yo, chip sour cream, basic honey. Old dip, oh so stunning. Play girl power team. Energizer bunnies and how do you say? I'm so Givenchy, OMG, we what's up? How do we play? It's no better than everything, better believe. Child, we built for this. Does somebody good? We built for this. All around the world with an emphasis on fun, lights, camera, action. Because